Hey guys, how's it going? It's Andy from MagooInvesting. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite stocks, and that is Roku. And so this was a requested video, so if you'd like me to go over any specific stocks in the future, please leave them in the comment section down below. And so Roku is a company that I use on a regular basis. In my household of 6 people, we have 3 Roku devices and then 1 Apple TV, which I'll talk about in a little bit based off of the competitors. In this episode of Robinhood Top Stocks, we're going to be talking about Roku, what I see with the company going forward. We're going to look over on the charts, see if I can see a trend, and then we're going to look to see what the analysts have to say about where Roku could be going in the next 12 months. And so I've got to say, I'm not a licensed financial advisor, so I highly recommend doing your own research, talking to a professional, someone that can find you the best place to put your money going forward. And so Roku is a company that's had probably one of the best years in the stock market. I remember taking a position on it in my paper trading account in December of last year at $30, and now it's currently sitting at $127, and it had a high of $180. So incredible returns for 1 year, and it has since fallen from there. And it missed earnings a little bit recently and has fallen. And today I'm going to talk about if I see any long-term potential or if I see any shorter-term swing trades for Roku in the next couple weeks. And so with that being said, let's hop on the computer and take a look at Roku, ticker symbol ROKU. So here we are on Robinhood again, talking about the Robinhood Top Stocks. As you can see, my portfolio is completely flat on the day, another boring day, but we're going to talk about something really interesting, and that is Roku. As you can see, it's up 4.5% today, 72% buy rating with 37,000 people owning it. And so when we come down here, it does not give a dividend, but this is the news event from last week where the earnings report came out and stock fell. And so that gives a pretty good opportunity to get into a company that I think is one of the leaders in what they do. So they have it as a buy rating. You can see here that I actually saw a different estimation, but people did not like how the earnings report came out, and so the stock fell. And so let's take a look on the charts. And as you can see, actually let's just go to 180 days. You can see that the stock has been moving a lot this past year. So just for the past 180 days, low of $55 and a high of almost 180. So that's ridiculous for a stock that last December was looking pretty sad down here. As we go take a look at my paper trade on Roku, target price of $30.54. So it's pretty crazy. I wish I took a position on my actual account, but I didn't have the funds available. So when you have this crazy movement, you can see it's been moving up because of earnings, gapped up, and then the gap finally filled. When is that? At the beginning of October, so that's a good example of a gap fill. Then it pushed back up, and then earnings has knocked it down. And since then, it's been moving along very nicely. And so this was a very nice support line. If I was paying attention, I probably would have taken a position there. And so what I'm originally seeing on this is we had very nice support, it bounces off, and if this is a higher low and it pushes above this, I really like this stock going forward. You might think, oh, but going from 120, it's only, oh God, I hate TD Ameritrade for how it does this. So that's 20% from where we're at right now, but from there to the all-time high is still another 13 or 14%. So there's plenty of room to move for Roku. Just kind of the things you need to take into account is that when you're up, I think it's 300% year to date, it's very possible that it may fall a little bit. So it's kind of a risky stock. This stock moves a lot. As you can see, it's up 4.25% today. But let's draw this. This looks like maybe a support right here, so we'll draw that. But yeah, Roku is it moves a lot, which is something to take into account, but I like the company a lot. I think that the chart is very attractive. Maybe I'll say if maybe it can push above this resistance right here, I'd feel comfortable taking a position. So I'm going to set an alert for right here, see if it breaks above that. I think it's a pretty good long-term trade. I like what Roku has going forward, but now let's take a look to see what the analysts say and what the professionals think of Roku. So with the price forecast, this is kind of what I'd expect. As you can see, up 316% year to date. And so when a company moves this much, it's not surprising to see that the low could be down 53% or up 45%. So I kind of agree on this one. If things go well for the stock, I see it moving up that 45%. I feel pretty good about that. But then there's also the possibility that it keeps falling, because when you're up almost 320% year to date, it's very possible that it could fall. So I kind of agree on that one. It's kind of risky. And then here on Yahoo, they have it down in short term, down in medium term, and then pretty level for long term. So they don't really want to take a position on Roku, but looking at the charts, I like this movement. It's been moving up, and then it fell out of the sky, hit a very nice support, and bounced off of that pretty easily. Just got knocked down by earnings. They recently acquired a different company, and so I like Roku going forward. I would wait until it breaks this and starts making higher highs, but for a company that I am confident in their product, that recently just got hit by bad earnings, this is a very attractive stock for me. I don't think I'll be taking a position because I'm kind of going for a more conservative portfolio for the end of the year, and it's very possible that Roku could continue to fall, but it's something that it's always going to be on my watch list because I think it's a fascinating example of how a stock can recover very quickly with some good news and some good earnings reports. So Roku will be on my watch list for a long time. I love their product, and if I was going to be taking position in here, I would feel pretty good about it, but that's not the type of stock I'm looking for right now. And so overall, Roku has been an incredible stock to look at this year. We've had plenty of examples of just incredible growth. It's fallen, it has gap filled since then, which I've talked about in past videos for Activision. And so it had bad earnings, and it's since bounced back a little bit. And so depending on what you think of the company going forward, I think it has a lot of potential. It's not really competing with anyone major. You have a little bit of competition with Apple and Amazon, but I think the Fire is not as good as the Roku product, and I think the Apple TV is too expensive for the average consumer. So overall, I think Roku's got a great pocket with the products that it has, and I think it is the leader for streaming devices going forward. Recently, there was some news about Disney Plus and Apple streaming service coming out, and so yeah, I was kind of confused on the bad news or just the news event hurting Roku, as they don't really overlap in their products. The streaming is available on Roku, and so it's kind of confusing why the stock reacted that way. And so I think with that news knocking off its 52-week highs, in addition to the missing earnings, I think that Roku is a great stock going forward. The only thing you got to keep in mind is that when a stock is up over 300% year to date, it's very possible it could come down out of the sky, because right now it has had ridiculous returns for 1 year, and it's very possible that it could come down for a little bit. And so that's kind of why on the price forecast, they have it up 50% and then down 50%. So when I talk about stocks that I like investing in, I talk about ones that have been hurt by recent news or earnings. Roku applies for that. It's a company that I love and I use, and that's very true. And somewhere where I think that it has potential going forward. And I think that Roku checks all those boxes. It's just on whether or not you feel confident taking a position in something that is up so far year to date. And it's possible that it could come down a little bit, or it could keep pushing up. And so that's a risk management that you got to take into account before taking a position. But I love the company, I love the charts, and I'm very excited to see where Roku goes in the next couple months and in the next year. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about Roku in the comments section down below. And let me know if there's a company or an idea you'd like me to go over in a future video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.